Welcome to The Explainer. If you were anywhere near the internet in the spring of 2026, you absolutely remember it. A massive, viral, pan-African musical movement literally took over our feeds, our playlists, and our entire culture. Today, we're diving deep into the sheer scale of the Zamba Zam phenomenon to see how it all happened.
So how exactly did a simple Moroccan nursery rhyme become the absolute biggest, most complex AI Afro anthem of 2026? It's an unbelievably fascinating journey, blending digital creation, ancestral heartbeats, and artificial intelligence. We're about to deconstruct this entire phenomenon together, step by step, to understand exactly how a children's game transformed into a massive global movement.
Okay, let's dive right into this with Section 1, the 2026 Zamba phenomenon, generative AI meets African heritage.
To really grasp this explosion, you gotta realize it wasn't just one song. No, it was a whole suite of tracks, like Zamba Zam Zam, Wululu Zam Zam, and Muliko Zamba, that completely redefined the digital landscape almost overnight. And they were built on some absolutely incredible core components. First up, creators used high-fidelity AI to synthesize Rihanna's vocal profile, which gave listeners a really familiar, global anchor to latch onto. Second, the production was entirely decentralized. Channels like Sony Beats and Amex Beats led this amazing community-driven model where anyone could download a free-tiered licensed beat and just start building. On top of that, tools like Weavy AI were generating these breathtaking visual poems of golden savannas. And finally, tying the whole thing together was this massive pan-African focus on unity and ancestral narratives. It was basically democratized music production happening at a scale we've never seen before.
Moving to Section 2, Roots, Aram Sam Sam, from playground to digital heritage. When you peel back that glossy modern aesthetic, the origin of this track is actually a massive twist.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast between a simple playground game and a soulful digital movement. It all stems from Aram Sam Sam, which is a traditional Moroccan folk round focused purely on children's play, physical coordination, and, let's be honest, totally nonsensical lyrics. But in 2026, that simple acoustic 4/4 game was completely transformed. It became this rich, pan-African digital fusion driven by polyrhythmic Afrobeat. The themes completely shifted away from child's play into deep, resonant narratives of unity and resilience.
Section 3, the Zulu rhythmic heartbeat, grounding the digital in the organic. To really understand the radical transformation of this track, we absolutely must examine the heavy, organic beats driving the whole thing.
Just look at how these rhythmic elements break down. The foundation of traditional music, like the Ngoma or Ngungu drum, literally becomes the deep sub-bass Afrobeat kick. The texture that used to be provided by the djembe or talking drum, that's synthesized into melodic rhythm percussion. Even the traditional Zulu chants and that classic call-and-response pacing are recreated through multi-track AI vocal layering and a dynamic verse anthem structure. They basically took the auditory map of traditional Africa and mapped it directly onto software. And this brilliantly illustrates how ancient acoustic textures were translated into modern digital drive.
A perfect example of this organic foundation is the Isigubu drum. This instrument represents the deep, communal heartbeat of traditional Zulu music. Crafted from animal skin stretched tightly over a wooden frame, its resonant tones literally provide the foundational rhythm and physical heartbeat for the entire Zulu community. In the Zamba tracks, this exact acoustic profile is what that booming sub-bass kick is trying to replicate. You know, that deep, heavy feeling you get right in your chest.
And that heartbeat serves a vital, tangible purpose. In Central and Southern Africa, sacred Ngoma drums in ceremonies are used to summon spirits, unite communities, and importantly, provide actual clinical healing through rhythmic dance. What's absolutely fascinating here is that clinical studies have shown these specific Ngoma rhythms actually increase exercise tolerance and reduce stress. So when these AI tracks aim for an uplifting vibe that kind of washes away your pain, they are literally replicating the proven clinical healing properties of those traditional Ngoma drum ceremonies. It's wild.
We also see the integration of the umakoyana, which is a traditional Zulu bow instrument symbolizing cultural identity and acting as a conduit to ancestral spirits. The crucial point here is that even in this heavily synthesized artificial intelligence landscape we're talking about, recognizing and integrating authentic artifacts like the umakoyana remains absolutely vital. It maintains cultural credibility and memory, ensuring the music isn't just some soulless algorithm, but a true breathing continuation of heritage.
Which brings us to Section 4, Voices of the Motherland, Lyrical Hermeneutics. Let's shift our focus from the drums to the actual message and introduce the powerful digital voice leading the charge.
Because, well, the beat is only half the story, right? The lyrics delivered by that powerful digital voice are what truly lead the way. Take the track Muliko Zamba, which declares with such passion, joy is a river that will never run dry. I love that. These anthems heavily utilize beautiful biological and natural metaphors. The lyrics are constantly talking about rhythms in our veins, the earth speaking in us, and ancient voices rising from the ground. It paints this incredibly vivid picture of a culture that is as permanent and natural as a flowing river.
So the crucial point is how these lyrics systematically build a narrative of survival, using Rihanna's AI persona to bridge the African diaspora to the continent. They do this across 4 main thematic pillars. First, there's resilience, overcoming trauma through sound, with really powerful lines like "every wound becomes desire." Then interconnectedness. This is a deeply communal philosophy declaring, "I am you, you are me" in every heartbeat. Third is an environmental connection, recognizing that the earth still speaks in us. And finally, global unity, calling for the complete dissolution of divides, from Durban shores to distant plains.
Next up is Section 5, Digital Cultural Preservation, Algorithms and Ancestors. This is where we look at the actual academic and societal impacts of these digital creations on cultural sustainability.
Because you have to wonder, how does a viral, community-created AI track actually impact real-world cultural preservation? To understand this, we turn to cultural ecology theory. Now, this is a framework for understanding how cultures evolve and adapt to their environments. Historically, of course, that meant the physical environment. But today, it means preserving heritage by adapting to modern digital landscapes. And this theory perfectly encapsulates the 2026 Zamba phenomenon. What you're looking at is a culture surviving and thriving by adapting to a brand new, global, algorithmic environment, rather than being erased by it.
Let's move to NASA and see how this builds into the exact recipe of this cultural synthesis. In practice, it creates a fascinating ecology for a digital anthem. Step 1 involves recording intimate ethnomusicological gestures, like the traditional Inlamu warrior stomps. Step 2 is synthesizing those organic sounds into heavy, melodic Afro-type beats. Then, Step 3 is layering culturally resonant AI-generated vocals right over that rhythm. And finally, Step 4, distributing a unified, healing Pan-African message to a massive global audience. It's just an incredible synthesis of the very old and the very new.
And that leads us to the ultimate takeaway from this entire phenomenon. AI hasn't erased history. Rather, it has given ancient rhythms a new, polyrhythmic digital heartbeat to sustain cultural diversity. Instead of artificial intelligence just replacing human culture, we are literally seeing communities use it to amplify their ancestral pride and keep their heritage vibrant on a massive global stage. It's a total game changer.
So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. If algorithms can successfully preserve the heartbeat of a culture, what other ancient stories are just waiting to be reborn in the digital savannah? The Zamba Zam Zam movement was just the beginning. I encourage you to keep your ears open and your curiosity sharp. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.